What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another AFK Journey video. Alright guys, you guys know March 27th, this game will officially drop. I have been playing the beta. I stopped playing the beta only because I want to enjoy the actual official release when it comes out. So, back to Prydwen we go, which is usually my main source for these kind of games. So I want to give a big shout out to Prydwen as usual. I want to talk about a couple big things that you guys need to know. This is based on the PTR client that's currently out, by the way, so you guys are aware. If the guide does change on day one, we will talk about it. So, re-rolling. Everybody has a question about re-rolling. Is it worth it? Do you do it? How do you do it if you want to? And if this game is worthwhile even pursuing a re-roll? Because many gachas, even though a lot of people like to re-roll, are just not worth it at the end of the day because the min-maxing will eventually die out as new characters come out, as you get dupes, and a lot of these games do require dupes, and your account will be dictated by that. So let's talk about the re-roll process, and based on Prydwen's expectations. And I'm gonna give my take on this as well too, because I've told a lot of folks who have asked me, hey Payne, is there a meta? I'll be honest with you, the game, the account I have has a lot of the meta characters, and it was just by luck and by chance that I got them. It's not like I bought anything or did any of that jazz, just something for them and I ended up getting them. But we're going to go over a tier list as well too after, probably do another video on a tier list. But right now I want to talk about a couple different things. Okay, so first off, what's one of the most important questions in idle games? Are rerolls worth it or not? And these type of games, like I mentioned, and I said this and I agree with them, heavily rely on dupes. And AFK Arena is not an exception unless you want to heavily min-max who you will start with. Here's why. Okay, and I'm gonna agree with them because I have this my first time reading this, but I've already kind of scanned it over. The first pities you reach on the normal banner are fixed when it comes to the S level characters you obtain. The first 10 pity guarantees you one of the strongest damage dealers in the game, Cecilia, who is also part of the best story progression team, and I 100% agree with that. She has been carrying me on my account like insane. She is by far one of the best units. Summons a monster to do her battles or special. The monster stuns, has great tanking abilities, has good damage. She does incredible damage herself. Easily one of the best characters you're going to get right from the get-go, and she is currently scripted. Now, if that changes on release, whole different story. Not sure how that's going to go, but right now for PTR, she is a scripted character. The second guaranteed pity you do in 20 pulls is one of the strongest healers in the game, and that's Rowan. And again, fully agreed there. Equal chance to get one of them, Rowan, Human, or Smokey and Miki. So I've personally got Rowan. Rowan has been amazing for me. Like, I've been using Rowan for everything as well too. So that is currently the fixed pulls that you have in PTR and Beta Voyage, and this is an assumption that will carry over as well. And if anything does change again, Prydwen will update, and I'll update you guys as well too. So far, it's not really a requirement to reroll because of what you get, but that doesn't mean that rerolling isn't worth it for some people who want to min-max, right? A single copy of a great light character S level can carry you for the first week or two, making the progression through the early game much easier and less frustrating. Some characters can even function on a single copy all the way to end game, mainly supports and some tanks. Also, the ascension system has been simplified compared to other games, and I talked about this in my other videos about this game. In the genre, you need less dupes to raise a character to final tier, and no, this doesn't mean the characters are harder to obtain, as the pity system is pretty great, and you can also buy dupe characters in various shops, and this is very true, and I've said this from day one. When playing this game, a couple things that the game did right. Number one, the low amount of dupes you need. Number two, the equipment setup is incredible because you put equipment on for a class rather than a character, which makes it so much easier to get those the equipment that you need. Plus, you can level up and recraft your stuff as well too, and get it higher up by just using crafting materials. So they do a great job of that, making and simplifying something that is broken in almost all gacha games, and that is the dupe system as well as the gear system. So great job there. So while the fixed pity gives you a great DPS and support healer, you're still lacking a tank. We all know that the front line dies, the whole team dies. While the game does give you Lucius for free, he falls out pretty quickly when it comes to main tank role and instead becomes an off-tank shield bot. And they're absolutely correct on this. They're 100% correct. He is definitely an off tank eventually. I personally got myself Brutus. Brutus is actually a warrior, not a tank, but he has invulnerability and he has great DPS. So when it comes down to S level tanks, Brutus, in my opinion, and Thorin are the two best ones. Granny, I never tried, so I can't really talk about her, but Brutus was amazing as a tank because of his DPS, his AoE whirlwind, and the fact that he has invulnerability when he goes down at certain HP. So On top of the guaranteed pity characters, you might also get a random S level character before reaching the second pity, and what's best, the pity counter won't reset if this happens. That's right. How uncommon is that, guys? How uncommon is that? So you can definitely re-roll in this game if you want to go for that second S level character to help you through it. Again, I don't think it's needed, but you can if you want. So though once you reach the second pity, the system goes back to normal, quote unquote. And if you obtain an S level character, the pity will reset as well too. Re-rolling takes only roughly 10 minutes. So still not all sunshine and rainbows. Re-rolling in your phone is limited to server hopping, which means you have to go to different servers. You won't be able to play on the latest one, or email hopping as well. So you'll have to create new emails every time. That's because we're not sure if clearing the cache will work on the release. It does on PTR. And on top of that, while the game has a PC client, the same restrictions are applied there. This leaves you with emulators that actually make the whole process a lot easier and faster. Probably going to do BlueStacks on that one, right? Make multiple instances, connect them all, try to connect through, do multiple ones at the same time, and hopefully you get yourself what you need. So re-rolling methods, here's how it all works, just so you guys are aware. The first thing you need to prepare if you plan to re-roll is your phone, PC, or an emulator. Below you can find a comparison of each one. So phone and PC client, while AFK Journey has a great guest system available, we're not sure clearing cache on the Android will delete your guest account. While on PTR, clearing cache on an emulator works for us, it did not on the phone. As for the PC client, the guest account system doesn't exist there, and you're forced to log into the game via email for each attempt. So the best thing to do, obviously, guys, is roll on an emulator, get what you want, and then connect that email to the PC client. And I highly recommend using the PC client, but mobile still works really well here, okay? So email hopping is a pretty straightforward method. Make a bunch of Google accounts. Unfortunately, that causes issues because Google will eventually block you if you do too many of them. And then the other one, of course, is server hopping. So instead of logging into one server, you log into another. Keep going to every server until you get the best roles on the server you want. Connect that to an email account. That's your new one, that once you get what you want, and then go there. Now, re-rolling on the emulator is always the preferred choice because you can make many different instances. For example, on BlueStacks, use the APK or just whenever the game launches, download it, and then make clones of that same one, and then essentially synchronize them all together, and then they'll play together at the same time if your PC can run it all. And then that way you just go back in, you get what you want, and then when you're finally happy, connect it to an email, and then you can use it on multiple different places, like the phone and the PC. Remember, on the emulator, they're saying that you can simply clear cache and start again. It only works on emulator, so we're not sure if this is going to work on anything outside of that. All right, so there you guys have it. That's how it's going to work. So 10 minutes of doing this, but it does take a little bit of time. So re-rolling is not a necessity by any means, shape, or form in this game, because you already start off with two of the best healing and DPS characters. They'll take you pretty damn far in the game. As for tanks, that's up to you. I think Lucius was good enough to get me pretty far as it is, but I got Brutus fairly early on, so I got pretty lucky on that one. It's up to you guys what you want to do, but this is the process. Again, if this changes, I will let you know. Prydwen will let you know, so shout out to you guys, and we will do a tier list in the near future on this game. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.